Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, April 8th, 2026. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the senior minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today are Bishop Robert Griffin, my husband, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Now to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world.
In 2026, we are celebrating the 41st anniversary of Hotspots magazine, with Queer News Tonight sharing over 14,000 stories and 12 million views so far.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Archbishop's Easter homily urges us to trust God in the dark. Preaching at Canterbury Cathedral on Easter Sunday, Archbishop Sarah Mullally centered on the Gospel of John, chapter 20, verses 1 through 18, particularly the verse that says, "While it was still dark." She noted resurrection began before sunrise. God's work unfolds in darkness, not after it. Darkness, she said, is not absence, but the sight of God's glory and, quote, womb of resurrection life, end quote, where the Spirit moves. Rejecting society's impatience with darkness, she honored those who keep vigil in it. Nurses tending patients, hospice carers, holding hands of their patients, parents cradling babies. Their quiet, unseen care models Christ's presence. Easter, she urged, calls us to trust God and that God is already at work in the dark. I love that. This year I focused on Mary Magdalene not recognizing Jesus because she had preconceived ideas of what she was going to see and what was supposed to be there, and how when we do that, we don't see who people really are. And I thought I was so clever with that. And then I read her thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm stealing hers next year. I'm doing this in the dark business. That was really, really good. And so I love that because we're experiencing a lot of darkness. And I don't mean like pejorative, like, dark is evil or whatever, but dark, you can't see well in the dark. You stumble around in the dark. Sometimes you're afraid in the dark. And we are going through that period right now of not being able to see what's next, of being afraid, of not being able to see reasons to hope. And yet we have to hope, because otherwise, where are we? So yeah, this idea that, even when we're stumbling around in the dark and we're afraid and we don't know which way to go, the divine presence is there. The presence of love, the presence of hope, the presence of life, the presence of wisdom, whatever it is, however it is that we understand divinity, it's there in the light and in the dark. And that's very, very helpful right now in our current regime and the current threats, foreign and domestic. And I don't mean threats foreign against us, but threats us against the foreign, against other countries. Like really in the narrative, for the first time in my life, we are undeniably the bad guys. I mean, there were people who were really upset about Vietnam, and of course I was a baby, but I think I would have been one of them. A lot of people have thought most wars were unnecessary. I am among them. Some people were really against the Korean conflict and all of that. But this one, really, if you are a person, and and the countries we've attacked, and Venezuela and Iran and just starving Cuba, if you are a person of conscience and character, if you have anything resembling a conscience, you can't see us as anything but the aggressors, the attackers, the antagonists. We are the bad guys. Yeah. And that's a dark time to be, to know yourself as part of the wrong team. And so for people of faith, this message that in the darkness, there is movement. There's hope coming. There's a presence that won't leave us alone, even when we're stumbling around the dark. That is a good word for us today, I think. And now let's take it and not just comfort ourselves, but use that comfort to make a difference.
I love the dark. I do. I love sitting alone by myself in the dark. It gives me time to think about things. It gives me a chance to look in a different way at my life, and it helps me to solidify my faith. Because even though I'm sitting in the dark, I know that there's something beyond the darkness. My dog, when it thunders, he hates thunder. So he and I will go into our bathroom. I will close the door, pitch black, have a little bit of music, and I sit and I talk to him. That's how I feel sometimes when I'm sitting in the dark. And I don't hear voices necessarily, but I feel things that I don't feel when the world is going crazy around me. So for me, a moment in darkness is a moment that I get a chance to recharge myself.
I think the Archbishop's while it was still dark is almost a call to action. It's a call to action to be mindful of what we are doing and what we are not doing. And that our actions, even in the dark, just like if you read the Gospels with the resurrected story, things were happening after the sun went down and before we get to the light of Easter Sunday morning, where we bring the light back into the sanctuary, things were happening. Mm-hmm. I can imagine people talking, people wondering, people being afraid. People like, oh, are they coming for me next because I knew Jesus? Are they coming for me next because I gave him a meal or I washed his feet? What is the church doing? And what are we being called to do? I think the Archbishop calls out right. Do the work that God's called us to do, whether it's light or whether it's night. Just do the work. And don't be afraid of what they say about you or what they think about you. When you're doing the work of justice, you're doing the work for all.
And it occurs to me that the closet is a dark place. And a lot of people are feeling right now the need to hide in a closet, or people are trying to push them into a closet, trying to erase them, trying to silence them, gay and lesbian people, transgender people, even allies. And so this is another message for these communities also, that God is working in the dark. So now what God does for us, God does through us. So God being with us in the dark means that we then have to be the conduit through which this divine power flows. God's only hands are our hands. So those hands need to tick a thing in the election booth, and needs to hold a sign at the protest, and needs to sign a petition and whatever. But yeah, God is at work in the dark as much as we will let her be, and we let her be by doing our bit. And that's today with the Queer God Squad. Thanks for joining us today. The Queer God Squad is here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Please like and share this and other episodes of the Queer God Squad.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that should naturally go together. Remember that we're all in this together.
Also remember that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad.